Good day and greetings from the Great White North. My name is Prickly Poo and welcome to day 95 of A Year of Change. Today we are going to pick up where we sort of skipped last week for finding an alternative to snacking. We didn't really skip it, but no one's really probably going to pick bugs as their first choice for snack food, so we're going to sort of forego that. So I wanted to sort of get back into, we had sort of a pattern for a little while there, where it was going to be something salty and something sweet and then something sour-ish. And we sort of were following that for a bit, and then everything just went sideways. I think we did cereal at one point as well, and then just different foods and things like that. But I found something a little bit different, something in my eyeball. I found something a little bit different that, while it isn't great, it's better than like chips and stuff like that. It's not perfect. So, we'll take a look. I will, however, there won't be all the banging and crashing that there was last time with the bugs. There was a lot of extra noise because I got into something going on with the mic. So I do apologize for that, but it won't happen this time. So, and all these are little roasted peas, which sounds a little weird. These are not the same as those stupid little Cheeto Pedo pea things, that the Snap things. I'm still angry at that. Those things were just puffed up, extruded shit. These are actual peas. And all they are, well, they say that they're roasted, but they're a little, I suspect that they're somewhat roasted in oil as well, because not that they're greasy or anything, but there's a lot of calories for just being roasted peas in them. And they're just like little, they're still in the skin, everything. Hey, pink, see? Pink. Oh, now there's extra noise. Pink. Anyway. Pink. And one more. Pink. Anyway, these actually, oh, there's peas everywhere. Anyway, I'll pick it up, don't worry. So, they say that they are roasted, and they are just like regular peas, but there's about 120 calories for a quarter of a cup, which isn't a lot. I mean, if you want, just think of like a measuring cup, and 1 cup's worth would be almost 500 calories, which is a little high for peas. So that's why I think that they probably like roasted them in oil or something. And usually what they'll do is, well, these ones anyway that I got, they'll roast them and then they just put some seasoning on them and then leave it at that. Which is fine. They actually taste pretty good, considering that they are just peas. And I'm pretty sure that they aren't, like, I think they're raw, and then they just sort of roast them that way. The only thing is that I, of course, found them to be a little, like, they were salted, but I found them to be a little bit bland. So, you probably know where this is going. I thought I will just put some more salt on them, so that I have a nice salty snack, which would be fine. The problem is that peas don't really hold salt very well. And I didn't really want, I mean, it's not just like a salt shaker. I have like a salt grinder thing. And I just didn't want it to have, like, it's not going to be able to retain any of that. Like, just the grains of salt, the big grains of salt. So I figured that what I would do, and this is probably not a good thing to do, but I did it. And I thought I would just, because I put these, like, I bought these at, you can get these in packages and stuff like that, but I bought these at a bulk store, so they were just in a bag. And I thought, I know what I'll do. I have popcorn flavoring, and I will use popcorn flavoring on it. Which actually worked out quite well, because there are, like, little crevices and holes and divots and everything else in them. So I had, like, a salt and vinegar shaker thing, and put that in and rolled everything around. And those are small enough, because it's not big chunks of salt grains that are in there. They're small enough to sort of fit in all the little pea holes. Yes, I said it. Oops. Hey, look, the skin's coming off. There we go. This does happen as well. Just to let you know, it is a real pea. So, and that one. Oh, whoa, almost dropped that one. There we go. They look exactly the same, which you can't see. But, yeah, so they are just roasted peas. They're actual peas. They aren't that fluffy shit. Anyway, so I put in the popcorn seasoning, and which isn't great because then the sodium is way through the roof, but we're going to be working on that later on. Right now, I don't need to worry about it. I can have as much salt as I want because it's not bad for me. But, so I went with the salt and vinegar. I'm sure there's other ones that are out there that you can put other stuff on there. I don't know. Yeah, because there's like pickle and I don't know the cheese thing. Actually, I think it's still fairly small amounts of calories. I mean, you're not going to have it coated in it the same way that you would with popcorn because they don't hold that much. It's just sort of to dust over it. So yeah, and it's like I say, it's small enough so that it'll give it like a little coating and stuff. And aside from fitting in the pee hole, so I had salt and vinegar stuff in my pee holes, which burns, and I should probably go to a doctor. But oh, there we go. This is what I've been trying to do: is trying to split it so that it actually looks like half a pea. And there we go. So, now, calorie-wise, as I said, they aren't great. It's about 120 calories for a quarter of a cup, which is not that much. It's a very small amount. But you're not going to sit and eat, you know, a big bowl filled with these things. It's not the same as chips, where they take up a lot of space. They're very compact. It's just like a bowl of peas, basically. But it is better than a lot of the chips. But there is still some fat in it, and there's some other stuff and all the other good things. There's probably a little bit of fiber in it because they're peas. And I'm not sure if the roasting, I can't imagine it would, but the roasting, you know, some people say, oh, well, it gets rid of the nutrients and stuff. Not just roasting, just cooking in general. I don't know if that would affect it or not, but I would imagine there's going to be, you know, less than having them raw or steamed or whatever it is. But they're still a vegetable. And yes, they would count towards your vegetables, as far as I'm concerned. So, it's something a little different to try. You may not like them. You may like them. It depends. We'll eventually find something that everyone can, at some point, agree on. But I figure it's better than just the potato chips. Which still seems weird to me because potatoes are still technically, well, they're a root, but it's a vegetable. But it's just pretty much all starch. These at least have some like fiber or nutrition or something in them. So, as it's not great, it's still better than some alternatives. And way better than those stupid little pea puffs, or whatever they were called. Snap peas. These are actual peas. Now, as I said, I got these at a bulk store near me. Oh, I just spit on my camera. Sorry. So, I mean, you just grab like a scoop of them and throw them in. But I'm sure that you can find packages of them everywhere. You can probably find packages of them somewhere. I don't know if you'd have to go to a health food store or wherever you need to go. But you probably can find them around you. If we can find them here, then you can find them there. We are in a very small town. And if you have a bulk store near you, then you might be able to find them there. I found these near the... Oh, there's another one I was going to try. The wasabi peas. I bought some of those as well because I thought, oh, well, I'll try this because I know everyone sort of tries it. You know, did not care for them at all. They tasted like the inside of a wet gym sock, and I had two, and I didn't even, like, I just immediately spit them out. They were just really, the flavor was really musty and gross, and not for me. If you like wasabi, you can probably get, like, those wasabi peas as well, or a mix of stuff with wasabi in it. For me, that's not really the best. I didn't care for it. So I thought, oh, I'll just stick with the regular ones and then just add my own flavoring that way, which is going to add more calories to it, obviously, and a lot more sodium. So once we start looking after our salt intake, then that's going to have to sort of go by the wayside, and I'll have to do something about that. But for right now, it was good. So it's something a little bit different. And again, much like the dates and the pickles, there are some pros, there are some cons, but it's still better than the empty junk food like cakes and cookies and stuff like that. More so cake, I guess, because cookies, like, well, no, cookies are pretty much just sugar and butter. Anyway, so while your calories aren't going to really get reduced a whole lot, you're getting something more out of it, and again, sort of steering us towards something a little bit better than just eating Cheetos and everything else. Plus, again, real peas, not those stupid little snap pea things, which are no better than any other chip or crisp or Cheeto or poofy thing or whatever you want to call them. See, I thought they were going to be a little more greasy. For some reason, oh, you know why? I just realized because I remember these being a little greasier than they are right now. It's probably because I've put that salt and vinegar on it and sort of sucked all the moisture out of it. So that's probably why. It's probably affected the grease as well. These do tend to be a little bit greasy when you first buy them. It's not like chips greasy. It's sort of more like popcorn. If you were to make popcorn, how there's still that grease on it, which is really odd. It's not a lot, but it's enough. I think that's probably where all the calories are coming from. Because it has nothing else in it. They're just, yeah. Because peas in general, I don't think have this many calories in them. I could be entirely wrong, but I don't think that they do. So, it's just a matter of, I don't know, finding that balance. But that's probably why they aren't as greasy as I originally thought. So, give them a try if you want. They're really, really crunchy. They're like, if you've ever had corn nuts, which I don't like, or I'm trying to think of something that compares to them, or something crunchy. There we go. Like, I know. Here's a good way to compare it. Seeing as we've been talking about Cheetos this whole time, you know the little Cheeto inside the bag that's not quite a Cheeto. It's a little tiny one, but it's really compact and really dense and crunchy. That's what these are like. They're really like I can't break it if I squeeze it. Oh, there we go. Yes, I can. Oh, geez. It just turned to powder. So, it's not like the same snap pea powder stuff. These are actually real peas. I'm going to put that there. I've probably made quite a bit of noise with the mic as well. I'm sorry if I have. Not for the camera thing, because that's fine, because you just go ping, and you're good there. So, I don't really know what else to tell you about these, because I've only had them for a few days. I do like them, though. I find that because they're really super crunchy, then after a few minutes, you kind of want to stop eating them because you figure that you're annoying people around you. So these are best probably enjoyed by yourself, just so that people don't try to punch you in the face for being annoying and crunching in their ear. But anyway, that's it. It's a very short video today. I know that the past few have been quite long. They've been about 20 minutes for 3 or 4 in a row. So I'm going to try to just condense this one down a little bit more. Mainly just because we're getting back to where we should be with snacks and things like that. I had some other ideas for it as well, but these ones sort of struck me as no, this is probably a better option. And the wasabi things, don't worry about those. You can try them if you want. Ideally, you want to try it where someone else has bought them, because otherwise you're just going to be angry at yourself for wasting money, because they're fairly expensive and they taste like shit. So, or a gym sock. Or a gym sock with shit in it. They were really, really bad. And I don't know if it's just a taste bud thing that I didn't like them. Other people might like them, but it was just a really odd. It wasn't even just the heat. I don't mind, spicy food. It's the taste itself was horrendous. And I don't think I would ever, 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 ever buy them again. But these ones weren't bad. Plus, if you're like me and you're just going to add shit to it anyway, you get like popcorn shakers, or actually, you know what? You could probably even use the little, there's a better alternative. That's what I'll probably use once you start cutting down on my salt intake. Instead of the popcorn seasoning, which is always got a ton of salt in it, those little clubhouse spices. And that we did one of those as well on one of these sort of food-ish days. So maybe I would do that because those sometimes are small enough that, and you could mix it in, that it would probably stick to it a little bit better. And especially if I do it right away as soon as you buy them, then there's that oil that's on there is going to do it. And they've got a ton of different ones. It could be, I know it sounds weird, but it could be like a steak rub or something. They've got a bunch of different ones. There's one I think I showed you guys, the Chipotle Mango. That would probably go really well with these because it would also give you a little bit of heat, and it's those ones, like the mixtures are really fine powders, and I mean, there's still quite a bit of sodium in it, but you don't need a lot to coat these. You just need something that's going to, get little flakes on it every now and then, because you're eating them by like little handfuls. So, You don't need to have something that's just drowning in it, the same way that you would with a popcorn thing. So maybe that's what I'll do for an alternative, is, and you can do it as well, that once we start cutting down on different things, there are a number of different Clubhouse spice things, or it doesn't have to be Clubhouse, obviously, any other spice that you can think of, that, like mustard, powdered mustard is an example. 0 calories in it, probably quite a bit of sodium, but you could probably mix that in there with it, and then you have like a mustardy flavor. So you could probably mix and match a whole bunch of things. So these might be a little bit better. Again, though, fairly high in calories. Like, it's almost 500 calories for a cup of these, which does sound quite high, but I'm sure you're getting more out of it than you're putting into it, if that makes sense. Because a cup of chips is, like, granted, they're all folded over and poofy and everything else, is probably less, but you're not getting as much. So there's going to be, like, some fiber and vitamins and everything else that are in there. So anyway, it's, I guess, how you look at it. We have to weigh the benefits, and I might be entirely wrong on this, but I don't think I am. Actually, what I'll do is I will leave a link below for its entry on Fat Secret. That's what I'll do. I'll put that in there. Fat Secret is actually one of the spots I've been aware of it, but I just started sort of double checking everything on there, and you can adjust the servings. You can, you know, find almost everything on there, and it's pretty good. And I've always, if I'm looking for something and I find 3 or 4 entries, I try to take the one that has the most calories in it, you know, for the same amount, just sort of to err on the side of caution again. So I'll put a link below in the description for the roasted peanuts, or peanuts. Anyway, I don't know what they are. They're peas, not peanuts. Stupid. But I'll put a link below so that you can go in, you can take a look at it. It'll give you all the nutritional information on, like, the fiber and the sugar and everything else. This is what it would be before you put on any seasoning. Some of you may not need it. I just do because I want salt. I want lots and lots of salt, which I'm going to have to look at in a few weeks. And I'm scared. But yeah, so you can take a look at those, and then you can go up to the website as well and just sort of fiddle through if you found what you like for your own snacking things. You know, you can go and compare those and find out if it's... I know I sort of base everything off chips, but that's pretty much everyone's go-to snack, like chips or like M&M things. If you like sugar, they're going to be like handfuls of small things, I think. I don't know why. Some of you might say, no, I just Twinkies. That's my thing. But whatever your regular snack is, compare it to that. So that if you're looking at it and saying, okay, how much would, you know, a bag of chips be for calories and fat and everything else? And then look at roughly the same size in mass, not in volume, because chips are huge. So think about if you crush them all down, you know, into like 1 cup. They're probably going to be more than 500 calories. But sort of compare them that way. And try to be really honest and always err on the side of caution. If you are overestimating, then it's better because it's going to give you a few, like, even if it's an extra 10 calories for the day, it's better to overestimate than to underestimate and then go over your points and not realize it. And once again, sort of lie to ourselves and say, oh no, I'm still under my calories. I've eaten 5 cups of these and it's fine. So whatever your regular snack is, that's what I try to, that's why I sort of picked chips, because that was always my regular snack. That's what I compare these to. If yours are Skittles, then you can compare it to that and say, okay, the same amount of Skittles compared to the number of pickles or dates or whatever it is that you're doing. If it's cakes and cookies and stuff like that, measure what you would figure would be a serving size of those, because we all know if your snacks are cookies, because I've had those as well. I don't mean I've just had cookies. I mean I've had that moment where I'm like, oh, I'm going to snack on cookies, and then you're like, I only need to eat 2 sleeves. I'll leave 1 sleeve, and then I won't be a fat pig. So sort of compare those and say, you know, compared to 3 or 4 cookies, whatever the regular serving size is, which will tell you how bad things are when you... I don't even know what a normal serving of cookies would be. It's probably going to say 2. But try to figure out, like, grams or whatever it is and compare those. That's usually the best way to figure out, you know, what I found anyway, to compare different snacks. So these might be really high for a quarter of a cup, but if you looked at, say, chips or Skittles or Twinkie stuff and you mashed it down into a quarter of a cup worth, you know, compare the two of them and find out which one's better. Plus, like I say, with these, you're going to get something out of it. It might be a small amount of vitamins or fiber or whatever it is. Probably fiber, I would think, more than anything, where they're peas. So at least it's better than what you're doing right now. And if you don't like it, we can find something else. We'll keep going throughout these. I mean, every week. It may not be just snacks, but maybe for the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll pick some regular snacks. Because the bug thing doesn't really count. Spices don't really count. Cereal doesn't count. So that really leaves us with the peas, the apples, the pickles, grapes, and... what was the first one? Dates. I already said dates, didn't I? So maybe we'll sort of start looking at those a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's it. I have nothing else to say. So one more for the road. Bing. Oh, completely missed. Oh well. I completely ruined it. I gotta start all over again. And do this whole thing all over again. We'll try one more. There we go. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, please poke the like button for me. And in the meantime, keep yourself warm and fuzzy, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.